that working? Is that on? There we go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Budget Forum. We really appreciate you coming. I'm Charlie Hales. I'm your mayor, and I'm joined here by two, so far, of our colleagues. Commissioner?
Dan Saltzman.
And?
Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Fritz. I'm one of your city commissioners, and I just want to let you know that my parents-in-law live right across the street at Cherrywood Village, so it's nice to be home.
So thank you all for coming. We'll get the official business underway here shortly, but first we just want to take a moment to grieve with our Nepali and sisters here in Portland and with the world for the tragedy that's happened in Nepal, the terrible earthquake, the huge loss of life, and the huge loss of cultural heritage there as well. So if we could, before we begin tonight, let's just take a moment of silence for all those who've lost their lives, all those who are still hurt, not yet rescued, and for all the difficult days of recovery ahead for the people of that place. Thank you. I know people in Portland want to help, and we should, and we have a number of wonderful nonprofits, Red Cross and others who are helping, but we also have Mercy Corps, which is our local organization which helps out with situations like this around the world. And so if you're interested in making a contribution, please do go on Mercy Corps' website, as I have done, and I know others in our city family have done, to support the effort and give them the ability to help people make recovery there. So thank you for coming, and thanks for caring. And with that, we will turn it over to our facilitators and our budget staff to get us started this evening.
Thank you, Mayor Hales and Commissioners. My name is Teresa Logan.
And my name is Terry Pearson.
And we're here from Resolutions Northwest, a local nonprofit that provides mediation, facilitation, and other conflict resolution services. We also have a couple volunteers here with us tonight. We have Lori, who will be helping us out with timekeeping, and Christina, who will be helping us organize our testimony.
So we'll tell you in a few minutes about the plan for tonight. In general, what we've heard from council is that what they really want out of the night is a chance to really hear from all of you. So to hear your testimony, to get a chance to collect the written thoughts that you have to review later, to really get to hear what's important to you tonight. And we'll share later what the process will be for you to be able to share that. But first of all, we kind of wanted to hear a little bit about who is here tonight. So I'm curious, how many of you are here for the first time at a budget forum?
All right.
A number of hands. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
And how many of you are from Southeast Portland?
Lots.
A lot of Southeast. How about Northeast Portland?
Yeah.
Northwest? East Portland.
Feel free to raise your hand twice if that covers
Yeah.
you too. Good.
West side of Portland?
A few.
You in the room? And how about North Portland?
Hey,
All right.
welcome.
How about outside of Portland? We have a couple here too. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Great. Who here, aside from folks here up at the table, anyone else here that's an elected official that's here tonight? Okay, I don't see any hands. City bureau staff, who is here kind of in your position as a staff of a city bureau? A couple of folks here at the table at the outside, so several hands. Thanks for being here to listen. Or staff of a council member? Couple of hands there in the back, great. And anybody here from the media? Other than there are several people that are working around here managing our video cameras. Were there any other hands? Okay, I just like to let people know where those are. Great, thank you.
And how many of you are here tonight to express a concern about the city budget?
Many, not every hand, many hands.
Many hands. And how many of you are here tonight to support something in the city budget? Lots of hands around the room.
Great. And then I guess last is, just out of curiosity, how many of you are wanting to be able to speak and have your testimony heard tonight, to be on the speaker's queue? quite a few. Probably, my guess is probably more than we're going to get a chance to hear from. So do remember that there are the written comment cards. So if you at any point you don't get the chance to speak, you can take one of those with you or leave it here tonight and write your input and be able to turn it in. So that's there. We'll also keep things moving and really try to get as many people as possible the chance to speak.
And a brief overview of how we're going to do that tonight. We're going to have a brief presentation from the budget director, and then we will open it up for testimony from the public. We will have a couple different systems going here tonight. One will have a random speakers queue, so for anyone who came in tonight and got a number when you registered and said you wanted to provide testimony, we will be drawing those numbers at random. If you haven't gotten a number yet, you can check in at the registration table over here and get a number so you can be in that draw. And then we also have some invited panelists who are going to provide scheduled testimony from our community engagement, organized by the community engagement liaisons, who are a project of the Office of Neighborhood Involvement and represent new Portlander communities. And that will be from our Somali Portlanders, Chinese Portlanders, Iraqi Portlanders, and also a panel of youth from the Multnomah Youth Commission.
So we won't have a scheduled break tonight, but we do welcome you to just quietly move around the room as you need to. Restrooms, if you need them, are right outside these doors, just to your right. There's men's and women's. I think they're accessible restrooms. I don't know of any gender-neutral restrooms on the premises. There are refreshments back in the back, and if you want some cool water, grab a cup or your own water bottle, and down through these doors you can get a drinking fountain and a water bottle refilling station. If you'd like a cool drink, that's where to go.
All right, and with that, we're going to turn it over to City Budget Director Andrew Scott.
Right, thanks.
Great, thank you very much. I'm Andrew Scott. I'm the City Budget Director. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. All right. I'm going to go through a very brief slideshow tonight that just walks through some of the basics of the Portland City budget. And I know most of you are here to talk and have testimony and either express your concerns or support something, so I won't go into a lot of detail on these slides. I will be around, as will some City Budget Office staff, so if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to grab one of us and we'll be happy to dig into more detail on that. What you can see in terms of this overview as the city puts together its budget for the 2015-16 fiscal year, we have a forecast which is going to be updated later on this week, but the forecast that we've been operating under to date shows that we do have a surplus in the city, and it's a surplus of about $31 million, which is great news. We've come off of a number of years of reductions during the Great Recession, as well as some structural issues that we had to make reductions for as well. And so this additional money, which is about $11.5 million of ongoing funding and just under $20 million of one-time funding, is really what the budget process is mostly focused on this year, and focused on where we should be making those reinvestments into the city. And what you can see here, the Mayor Hales laid out some budget priorities for the 15-16 budget process. And overall, he referred to this as a stabilization budget. And this is the second year of a stabilization budget. Again, coming off of those recession-driven cuts, the idea is let's go ahead and stabilize our city bureaus, stabilize our resources, and again, make prudent investments where they're needed. The priorities that were laid out were emergency preparedness, complete neighborhoods, preserving city assets, and equity and opportunity. The overall city budget is about $3.6 billion, which is obviously a very large amount. A big portion of that, however, I do want to note, is transfers between funds, and I recognize that's very small and you're not going to be able to see that writing very well. We do have some pamphlets as well, and some of this material is in there. But about half of that $3.6 billion is taken up with three large categories. One are transfers between funds, and these are essentially just double counts in the budget. They don't represent actual dollars. They represent bureaus paying one another for services. Reserves account for about 21% of that overall $3.6 billion. And finally, debt service accounts for about 13%. What's left when you take those large chunks out is about $1.8 billion of program expenditures. And this is what most people think about when you think about the city budget. These are dollars that are going out the door for services that are being provided to city residents. And you can see that $1.8 billion is broken down by the various bureaus and where those funds go. And again, management and finance, the Bureau of Environmental Services, transportation, et cetera, and the portion of that overall city budget that those bureaus make up. Overall, in terms of allocating city resources, it's important to note that many of our funds are dedicated to very specific uses based on their source. So for instance, water and sewer fees, which you pay for through your water and sewer bill, are used to pay for water and sewer system maintenance and improvement. Permit fees that are paid to the Bureau of Development Services pay for the development services that citizens receive. So again, if you're doing a remodel and you're paying a permit fee, that's going to pay the staff that are processing those permits. Gas taxes and parking fees from our meters go to pay for transportation infrastructure. Outside of those very specific dedicated funds, there's the general fund. And the general fund is the pool of city resources that are not set aside for specific uses. These mainly come from property taxes and business taxes, although also utility license tax and hotel motel taxes make up a portion of the general fund as well. And again, these resources are not specifically dedicated to a program. They are allocated based on city council priorities as they look at the overall budget. The next slide here shows a breakdown of those general fund discretionary resources. And again, in next fiscal year, 2015-16, we're projecting a $436 million general fund. And what this pie chart, which will also be difficult to see, but which I think is in your pamphlet, shows is the overall breakdown of where those general fund dollars go. You can see the biggest chunk, which is the large blue slice of pie, is the Police Bureau at about $164 million. The next largest slice, the orange, Fire and Rescue at about $97.5 million. Parks, which is the dark blue wedge there right above Fire and Rescue, is third at about $52 million. And then it goes down from there in terms of the different bureaus. And also on this slide and in your pamphlet, we've broken down what the other bureaus are. There's a chunk there that goes to other bureaus that are too small to have their own slice of pie on the pie chart, and we've broken down those as well. One thing that's important to note is that this is a breakdown of general fund resources. There are some bureaus, such as the Bureau of Transportation or the Bureau or the Portland Housing Bureau, which receive some general fund resources, but it's really a very small portion of their overall budget. So as you look at this, you'll see that the Housing Bureau has $12.1 million of general fund resources. The entire housing budget for next year is proposed to be about $108 million. Similar, transportation receives about 8.9 or just almost $9 million of general fund out of a total transportation budget of $304 million. And again, the other resources in those budgets are coming from things like gas taxes and other dedicated fees and revenues. In terms of the 2015-16 budget guidance, again, as I mentioned on that introduction slide, this was seen as a stabilization budget. Our general fund bureaus were not required to submit reduction packages this year unless they requested ongoing discretionary funding. And in terms of add packages, bureaus were directed to focus those one-time requests on taking care of the city assets, on our infrastructure. And they were asked to focus their ongoing program requests on things that made measurable progress in one of three areas: equity and opportunity, complete neighborhoods, and emergency preparedness. And finally, when it comes to utility rates, the Water Bureau and the Bureau of Environmental Services were directed to submit a combined rate increase below 5%. The next couple of slides here, which again I will not go through in detail, but just to note the major requests and just to highlight a couple of these that came in from bureaus as part of the 15-16 budget process. You can see in emergency preparedness, restoring 26 firefighter positions that have been currently grant funded was a big request. You can see under complete neighborhoods, expanding the Safe Routes to Schools program for $300,000. Preservation of city assets, parks capital projects at $3.3 million. Again, it takes care of some of those assets that are in our park system. The Portland building renovation, you may have read the Portland building where a number of city employees, including myself, work, is really falling apart and in desperate need of renovation. So again, there is a request for funding to get that project started. There are projects at the 911 center. There are some major transportation maintenance projects, about $24.5 million total, and you can see some examples of those there. In the area of equity and opportunity, there's funding related to the Department of Justice settlement with the Police Bureau and making some improvements in our Police Bureau related to that settlement. Body-worn camera systems, there was a request for that. There were some equity initiatives in the Parks Bureau, and again, something the mayor announced earlier this year in his State of the City speech, a $15 an hour minimum wage for full-time city staffers and contractors. And finally, some other equity and opportunity investments, safety improvements on 122nd Avenue, affordable housing and land banking, and a variety of other requests that fell into that equity and opportunity category. The very final slide, you're all here tonight to provide testimony, and so thank you very much for coming out. There are some other opportunities as well. We will have another budget forum on May 7th at George Middle School. There will be a formal council budget hearing on May 20th, which will be at City Hall Chambers downtown. There's the utility rate hearing on May 21st, which will also be at City Hall. And then as City Council moves through the process, additional opportunity for public testimony when Council approves the budget on May 27th. TSCC, which is the Tax Supervising and Conservation Commission, holds a public hearing on our budget, which will be on June 17th. And final budget adoption is scheduled for June 18th. All of those are, again, opportunities to provide public testimony. So again, as I mentioned, I will be here along with some staff, and if you have any questions about the budget, we can either answer them or take your information and get back to you if it's more detail that we need to look up. And with that, I will turn it back over to our facilitators. Thanks.
Fix your mic. There we go. Thank you very much. So we will be in just a second beginning to invite up some of the first folks to get a chance to give some testimony. As a reminder, if you get called up, you'll have 2 minutes to speak. For some people, that'll be plenty of time to say what you need to say. We know that for others, you're going to be struggling to really share what's important to you in that time frame. Really encourage you to do what you can to kind of take notes and really be ready to speak that truth that you came here tonight to speak and to bring up there within that time frame so that we can keep things moving and give everyone the chance to speak and be heard tonight. Want to also encourage you, you may hear some things that you disagree with. That's fine. That's entirely part of the process. We ask you if that happens, just offer people the respect of listening. So your silence doesn't mean necessarily that you agree or you disagree. It just means you're granting them the space to talk. On the other hand, if you hear something that you agree with, we really encourage you to kind of show that visibly with your hands. Raise your hands if you're able and kind of wave them, and we'll ask council members to keep an eye out for that if you're willing to really be able to see where that is. So, rather than standing up, rather than applauding, just kind of show that visually for folks so that we know where the support is in the room.
And when you do come up to testify, we do have a timekeeper up here in the front who will help you out with some markers. We have a green sign that will hold up when you have reached the halfway point of 1 minute. We have a yellow sign to let you know when you have 30 seconds left, and a red sign when your time is up.
Great. So what we think we'd like to start with actually is we know that lots of folks may have obligations at home. So if there are any folks, I just want to see if there are folks here who have young kids at home, elders that you care for, you're just worried you may not be able to stay the whole time. We want to give a couple of people the chance to speak right off the bat. Is there anybody that knows you're going to have to get out of here early to take care of young kids? Anyone? One person here? Great. So why don't you come on up and we'll give you a chance to speak. And are there any youth, any elementary, middle, or high school students here tonight that are not the scheduled speakers but who would like to get a chance to speak? Any youth, middle, high school, or elementary school students? Okay. So why don't we just go ahead and draw 2 more names out of the random queue as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and invite one person. Teresa will invite her up. And then Christina, would you go ahead and draw, yeah, Christina's there. So Christina is one of our volunteers tonight, and she'll be going around with the box of numbers. And if you could just invite somebody to draw 2 numbers for us. Yay, just go right on up. Yeah, great. 2 numbers, please. 73. So if number 73 could come on up, and you can take a seat up at this main table here. And one more number, please. Just go ahead and grab a number, please. Yeah, great, thanks. And number 76. Great. Okay, thank you very much. Go ahead and have a seat. And while they're getting themselves situated, I think we'll have Christina draw 3 more. So we'll have 3 people who are just kind of ready here in these seats up front so that our next round can kind of move pretty quickly. So we'll get, okay. So just to let folks know, if anybody does want to give testimony and is using an interpreter, we'll time your 2 minutes for the time that you are speaking. We won't time the interpretation, so I'll just hand you my microphone when we get started. Thanks. So they'll go ahead and, so the next 3 numbers are 27 and 11. And we have a third person? Okay, so number 27 and number 11. Are those in the house? Yes, 1 and 11. Oh, great. So you can come on up and have a seat up here so you'll be ready to come in next.
And just one other note, we may have people testifying tonight with interpreters, and in that case, they will have a full 2 minutes in their native language to speak, and then whatever extra time is necessary for the interpretation of those comments. All right, so we'd ask you all, please, if you can start by giving your name and then provide your testimony. You'll have 2 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next participant.
magacayga horta waa salaamantiin dhammaan dadkaa meesha isugu yimid diin kastaaba ha ku socdeen
Greeting you all, different background, different religion, different ethnicity, all of you.
magacayga waa sugow axmed
My name is Sugo Ahmed.
deedda aan joogo iyo camriga aan ku jirana waad arkaysaan malay dhammaantiinna
You guys can see my age. I don't need to even tell you that.
nin waayeel lahoo beeshin oo 72 sano jiraanahay
I'm 72 years old,
xanuun baa ii dheer
retired,
haddana
and I'm also very ill.
weligay 5 sano magaaladan jooga aminka bannaan ma joogin gurigayga dhexdiis ma ogiye
I've never come out from my home for the last 5 years, that in Portland.
waxaan u imaaday dhibka magaalada nagu haasto in aan waxaa la ii sheegay inuu joogo mas-uulkii ugu sarreeyey magaalada
I hear that there is the mayor coming tonight here, and I come out just to share my frustration.
in aan su'aalo marka dadka uu mas-uulsha ka yahay inaan ku jirno iyo in kale inaan su'aalaan
I want to ask a simple question. Are we the people that you are in charge, or we're different than the people that you are in charge?
haddii uu mas-uulsha dadka uu ka yahay aan ku jirno maxay ku dhacday marna inaan arki wayno ama asagoo dadweynihii dhex taagan oo dhibka dadweynaha uu qabo weydinay inaan aragno
If
maxaan
you
u
are our
waynay
leader, how come we never see you coming to our neighbors and talking to us and shaking our hands?
haddaba annagu dad qaxootinimo halkaa ku nimaadaan nahay
We come here as a refugee from refugee camp.
brosees baa naloo soo dejiye waxaa nala dib u dejin baa laidin samaynay oo dhibka idin laasto waad ka baxaysaan
We've been told you have a hope, you're going to go to the U.S. for the first time, and you have a different life, a different opportunity.
waxoogaa nabadgelya waa helnay
We have peace and live peacefully. That's what I can tell you right now.
wixii ilmaha noo cuni lahaanna waa
And
helnay
we have food, no doubt about that as well.
hoyadkii ilmaha aan la gel lahayn gurigii aan degi lahayn iyo waxbarashadeenni yaa dhib naga haasta
The shelter, the housing, and the education is our biggest problem right now.
boqolkiiba 95 dadkeenni bannaan buu jiifaa
99% of our community are staying outside or living our crowded homes.
5 sano baan magaaladan joogaa aniga beeshinka ah bishan yaan hadda guri Section 8 ka helay intaasna waa dooday
I've been waiting for low-income subsidized housing in Section 8 for 5 years. Finally, I was able to get that last month.
dadkii iga sii yaryaraana waaba ka sii daran yahay iyagana
Forget about other people who have better health than I
qaar
am,
bay ilmihii bannaanka la
or
jiifaan
have a children and they're
waa
staying in
wada
the
homeless
street,
dadkeenni
and most of them are homeless.
community baan aas-aasnay oon furanay dhibkana haasto markaan
We
aragnay
opened our community just because no one helping us, and that's what we did. We established our organization.
sanad wax dhiman buu communitygaa furan yahay xafiiskaas
We are a little bit shy in about a year, 11 months now.
inta xafiiska uu furan yahay moodaa dadkii waxoogaa yar oo aftiina inuu u
For
baxay
the first time, we can see the light through the tunnel, what this office is doing for us, this organization.
war mas-uulkii madaxa magaalada u sarreeyay inuu xafiiskaas ayado u taakulayo oo wax nooga qabto maxaan u waayni
Why do we couldn't find the leaders, including the mayor, to come to our office and see our frustration and our life and the way we face?
waxaana la ku yidhi african hoos iyo irko baa jirta oo dadku wax loogu qabta
We heard about there's other agencies, including ECHO, who help people.
5 sano yay wax ii qaban waayeen inta ay hadda xafiiskan la fure intuu ii qabtay
5
african hoos
years,
nooma
nobody
qabtaan
helped me,
annaga
and nobody ever did what these organizations did for us. And thank you. Time ka ku dhamaa.
haddii aad mas-uulka u sarrayso tahay waxaan kuu sheegayaa inaan dayacannahay dayacnaantahaynana aan adiga ku tusaan u imaada halkaas ani
I just want to tell you that our frustration, our anger, and we haven't seen the United States yet. Please
Assalamu
come and
alaikum
help us and
warahmatullahi
support
wabarakatuh.
us. And thank you so much.
Can you hear me okay?
No.
Now? Hold the clock. Okay, there we go. Thank you. First of all, my name is Bill Failing, and I'm here on behalf of the Oregon Rail Heritage Center this evening. And I'm here with David Jorling, who's a former member of the city attorney's office here in Portland. And I'll start off with just a comment or two, and then I'll pass this over to Dave. We're here tonight regarding the budget surplus, of course. And we're not here for purposes of fix-up or repair. We're here tonight because we need help with an enabling process to be able to do some things that we have to do that I think are very important to the city of Portland. We are a very important part, we're told, of what the Southeast Quadrant is doing right now in terms of a development district. The Oregon Rail Heritage Foundation has been operating since September of 2012. We need to move on to a new chapter to get things done because we've got light rail coming in. We've got the new Tillicum Crossing Bridge coming in. We've got all kinds of activity right at our doorstep. And we feel that we are a catalyst for what's happening right now in Southeast Portland. So I'm going to pass this over to David Jorling.
Hello again. I'm a member of the board of the Oregon Rail Heritage Foundation, and I'm here today to ask that council give serious consideration to forgiving about 25% of the loan that the city provided to the foundation. So far, we have repaid about 50% of the loan, which was originally for $959,000, plus interest for total payments of so far of $600,000. The remaining payment schedule calls for ORF to pay $220,000 this year and about $330,000 in 2016. I would like to draw your attention to one of the exhibits I have passed out, and that is our annual report. And if you look at the last page, you'll see that the city loan takes up about, on page 11, the city loan takes up about almost half of our budget. And as you can see, repayment of the city loan and interest amounts is almost half of our expenses. We would like to the council to consider accepting payment of $330,000 this year, and in exchange for giving the balance of what would be $220,000. Why should City Council look at this request favorably? What good does the Rail Museum do the community, and how does the foundation help fulfill the Park Bureau's vision and mission? Here are just a few examples. On page 6 and 7, you will see a list of over 1,000 friends and donors that have helped us to establish the first-rate facility we now have. And this does not include all of the volunteers that have spent countless hours fulfilling the mandates of our management agreement with the city. To visualize what these volunteers have accomplished, I direct your attention to the sheet that shows one of the steam engines that is owned by the city of Portland as it existed in Oaks Park and it was restored to pull the American Freedom Train. And my time's up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please.
Actually, I'll.
I think my mic is, let's see. Anyway, my question is, was that loan originally from the Parks Bureau or from the Portland Development Commission, or what entity of city government made that loan? Do you remember?
I believe it's
Parks Bureau?
Yes, Parks Bureau.
Okay, thank you.
And Bill, just for the benefit of the audience, the ORF raised about $5 million, am I right? Or thereabouts?
5.4.
5.4 to build a home for the 3 steam locomotives that are owned by the city. The city owns 3 historic steam locomotives. One of them is the S&P 4449, which was the bicentennial train. It's the engine that took the bicentennial train across the country in 1976. Is that correct?
Correct.
So we own 3 steam locomotives. Who would have known? How many people here have ever taken the what's it called, the Holiday Express out in Oaks? We got 1? Okay, 2.
Well, Nick, just for the record, we had 13,000 people ride over 3 weekends this past holiday season.
Well, I guess we should all say thank you for the work you've done to create a new home for our 3 steam locomotives. And the loan is against the SDC fund. So it's a loan against an SDC. It was a loan from the SDC fund to help you with your capital project.
And, you know, just to follow through on this theme for a second, really this is much more than just being a rail museum. It's become a community center, and we have had City Club do meetings there. Portland Planning is there all the time. Portland Business Alliance has been there twice. It's a hub. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks
So
very much. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure that the council hears this request as a request for funding from the general fund rather than for parks to make a donation. If the council wants to fund this, it shouldn't come automatically out of parks. It should come out of the general fund.
Thank you. Great. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for being up here. And I think we have 3 speakers ready here on deck. So the 3 of you can come up and take seats here at the table. Any order, just grab a seat. And Teresa, who will be next?
And then we're going to ask for assistance from the public again and drawing 3 more numbers from the random queue.
Good. And then after this, I think we may do the number drawing kind of behind the scenes. You'll be able to keep an eye on Christina as she goes around, and she'll still have people draw numbers, but I don't think we'll kind of take time for it every time. So 3 more from the random queue. And then, okay, number 60. Number 60. 24. Number 24. Okay. And number 81. So no, that was number 60. Is number 24 here? Oh, is number 60 here and still wanting to speak? It's okay if you're not. I don't see number 60. So we're going to go ahead and draw another. If you do have 60 and we missed you, don't worry, we'll get you back in. So another number, please. Oh, sorry, number 24. And okay, so the numbers are 55. Is 55 here tonight? Great, 55 is here. And what number are we missing? We're missing 24? I'm 24. You're 24. 81. 81 is number 81 here. Great, come on up. Okay, we've got the 3. Cool, thank you. All right, so again, go ahead and let's start here with you. And if you could just say your name, and then you'll have 2 minutes to speak.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor Hales and commissioners. My name is Nai Zhao, and I'm here representing ERCO, and I'm advocating for the right budget for ONI. I am a Portland native, and I come from the Umian community, or Mian for short. We are a refugee community that immigrated to the United States in the 1970s and as a result of the Indo-Chinese War. My family has been here since 1980, and we are among the 1,100 other Mian in Oregon. An estimated 30,000 Mian reside in the United States, with much larger populations of Mian in Asia and in Europe. Some of the obstacles for civic leadership and engagement I've experienced and noticed in the Mian community is we tend to shy away from public systems and depend on community leaders to resolve conflict rather than involving public authorities. This is a barrier because these cultural norms keep refugee communities in silos and away from larger systems that impact their lives daily. This practice gets passed on from generation to generation, as it did in my own family, and I didn't feel like I could affect change in my community if I didn't educate myself about the larger community of Portland and Oregon. Through ERCO's leadership program, I developed skills in relationship and trust building, sharing information and networking, facilitating meetings, and continuous quality improvement so that it stays relevant. To multi-generational, multi-generational and diverse communities. Having an opportunity to be funded by the 2015 East Portland Neighborhood Small Grant, my project partner, Fei Sei Chow, who's also here, And I hope to bring together a wide range of East Portland community members and create a safe space for the exchange of ideas across different cultural, religious, professional, and ideological ideas. Only once we've come together can we identify the main issues our community faces and begin to address them. I hope to mirror the experience I had through ERCO's leadership program to assist in developing more MEAN leaders so that we can represent our community and engage with public systems. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Schatz. Good evening to everybody. I'm here to help support the Portland Mounted Patrol. In September of last year, I started working downtown for a private security company, which we also work with the Portland Police, the Business Alliance, and all of downtown Portland. We were around when the Ferguson protests were happening, and the Portland Mounted Police were there to help protect all of the citizens, along with the police department and a lot of other people. So I didn't have a speech written for this. I wasn't expecting to speak, but I am a very proud supporter. Those guys with the horses are down there, and not only are they down there to help protect people, but they also, as a child, you see the kids, and they're going up to the horses, and they're excited to see the police officers with the horses. I have horses of my own, and I have friends here that are also supporting the Mounted Patrol, and they do a lot of things for people that I don't think that a lot of the public knows. We do have, like I said, I work with the private security company, and they're there with just the protests and everything. It's nice to have them heading off and trying to keep people in a positive manner. And a lot of times you see the horses, and they're right there, and they're helping out with everything that we have to go through working downtown, and it does make it a lot better. You're welcome.
Thank you. And instead of applause, again, show your hand, show your support by waving hands. And I just want those who can't see it, there's a sign in back, Save Portland's Mounted Patrol. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me? My name is Jordan Collins. I'm currently a sophomore at PCC. I'm here representing the Future Connect Scholarship today. And I just want to first thank you guys for the funding that you guys have been giving us. Without Future Connect, college wouldn't be really possible for me. This program has made me very close to achieving a 2-year degree, and I'm walking proof that college is very possible and very real for any kid growing up that doesn't have a lot. Since I've been with Future Connect, I've developed strong relationships with coaches through outside of school stuff like sports or music. And one day I was talking with the manager of Future Connect, Josh, and I was talking and telling him how I wanted to be in sports marketing someday. About 2 weeks later, he gave me a call, and I was in the office of the director of college football operations at Adidas. I'm forever grateful for that opportunity, and I know it's something that Josh would have done for any one of the Future Connect students. Every day that experience has motivated me to keep pushing myself in school and to stick with it. The college coaches like Tobias and Mike at Southeast have really helped keep me focused and on track, and always making sure that I'm, taking the right classes to get me closer to the University of Oregon. I just want to urge the city to keep funding Future Connect, and if possible, increase funding, because it can only better the lives of hundreds more to come after me. Thank you.
Thank you. And seeing the hands waving, seeing the folks standing, the blue shirts are Future Connect shirts.
Thank you. We're going to ask the next 3 from our random draw queue to come on up. And then next on deck, we're going to have 3 speakers from the Multnomah Youth Commission. And we'd ask the 3 of you to come up and take the on-deck seats up here.
Okay, if you're ready, you can go ahead and introduce yourself and take your 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm Dawn Lewis, and I'm a dragon boater, so I'm a part of the Golden Dragons that we paddle 3 days a week down on the river. So we've experienced and seen a lot of the new boats coming in, the derelict boats, the mess that we have on the East Bank. We've done a lot to encourage the cleanup. And I just want to thank you for, I know it's taken a while to get the river patrol, the police, everybody in compliance with each other. It's a very tricky situation. We and they have at least taken 18 boats off the river, which there's quite a few more to go. And what we have seen is a lot of waste getting dumped into the river. Human waste floats right up to our dragon boats right there in the marina. The people on the boats will drop their drawers, go right in front of us. There's no respect for the police force that is there on the river, ticketing them. The rule of 30 days in one spot and then move 5 miles is not getting respected at all. The boats down on the dock are scary. We've lost a lot of our tourists. The restaurants and businesses down there have lost a lot of business, the vandalism. The meth boat that's dealing right there on the dock, everybody knows about it. We all see it. Finally, it's moved off the dock, but now it's into the bowl. And as you know, we're coming into the Rose Festival. And last year it was so bad, I know Mr. Crowder threatened to pull the Rose Festival race. Something needs to be addressed very soon because the festival is coming up rather soon. The cable, the electrical cable that is underwater in the bowl, I don't know why they haven't hit it and electrocuted all of them. I just think I would really like to see, I guess the money is going to go away in June. We need to really put more money into that because what we have cleaned up, what we have removed, we just need to stay on it so they don't all come back. There's one boat with, well, there's dogs on them that are not licensed. The poor things have nowhere to walk. They are taking their way. I mean, you can walk along the dock and here's a dog dumping right in front of you. I don't know whether you guys have taken a walk down there, but it's pretty darn disgusting for as much money as we've put into the pipeline, $1.4 billion to clean up the river, and now it's just, it's pretty disgusting to be there. Oh, time's up. I'm sorry. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, Mayor Hales and City Commissioners. My name is Mary Lou Sosha. I am a citizen of Northeast Portland. I'm also on the board of the Human Access Project. And I'm here to talk about increased accessibility of the Willamette River. It's very interesting to follow the woman before me because I think what I'm asking for is very in synchronicity with what she's asking for. So I'm asking for the city to take leadership in increasing access to the river. Okay. By increasing access to the river, you get people to care about the river. You get people to be in the river. You get people to touch the river. You get people to be part of the river. You allow, it's an equity issue. Increased access to the river allows people, all sorts of people who don't have, fancy equipment, people to walk along the river and be a part of the river. So it's a great opportunity. Like the person before me, the city spent $1.4 billion to clean up the river, and now we're meeting our Clean Water Act recreational uses, and let's get people in the river and have fun, and let's create those opportunities to do that. I also think by having people care more about the river and be part of the river, it's going to help our community as we move forward on these very difficult issues like we're facing with the Superfund project. The recent DEQ report that came out showed that pesticides are in the river. If people are caring about the river, then they're more likely to take individual action, and I think by connecting and being part of the river is the way to care of the river. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to city leadership in allowing people to enjoy and just get the benefits of that beautiful river that we all have in our city. Thank you very much.
Again, let us see. Believe it or not, from up here, it's easier to know how many people are in support when we see hands. Thanks. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Do you have a written proposal you can share with council, and what's your budget ask?
I need help from Willie Levinson, our executive director, on that. Are we in? Is it $1 million, Willie?
So
Yes.
is it currently before us, or have you already submitted it through the normal budget process? And what's it under what title?
To be honest with you, I've been working directly, I guess.
It's either in the Parks list or special appropriations, I'm not sure which.
I haven't seen it in either, so perhaps after this forum, we could get copies of the proposal and the budget ask.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, great.
Mayor and Commissioners.
Come a little closer
Hi.
to the microphone.
Okay.
And just so you all know, we've also moved our timekeeper where it might be a little more visible to those of you speaking. So thanks for bearing with us.
Okay, my name is Jenny Glass. This is my coworker, Mariel Moda. We work for the Rosewood Initiative. We're a nonprofit community organization based at 162nd and Stark, where we run a community center with a very slim budget, and we appreciate all the support that we get through the Neighborhood Prosperity Initiative, as well as through the East Portland Action Plan. So continued support for those programs is much appreciated. Tonight we're here to introduce a new request and a new ask for us, and I'm going to let Mariel talk about her program that she's designed.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. The Rosewood community straddles the border of Portland and Gresham, as you already know. It's a high crime area, high addiction rates, long-term poverty, low education in our residents, and we are lacking a lot of the resources that Inner Portland enjoys. The Rosewood Initiative strives to bring these resources to people and make it much easier for people to live in Portland and have healthy jobs and healthy families, and for the community itself to be very healthy. It started as a public safety initiative, and we're kind of reviving that portion of Rosewood with my position that we're here to ask for partial funding of. The position itself would be called the Director of Community Safety. And some of the goals of the position are to positively change the public perception of police in the neighborhood, to create opportunities for police and community members to interact in a non-confrontational way, to mitigate and remove legal barriers of employment to some of our community residents, to increase conflict resolution skills among our neighbors, and to give them better access to public safety resources, to support community policing and personal investment in neighborhood safety, and to lessen the exposure to and involvement of youth in criminal activity in our neighborhood. So we've already gotten support from the City of Gresham and from Multnomah County at large for this position. It's basically asking for work that we've already been doing on a shoestring budget for about 4 years. And it's putting a dedicated staff person in a position to really intentionally maintain relationships between organizations, between community members. Our real add of value is that we are rooted in East Portland, and we are very much a part of our community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to hear it now from Violeta Alvarez.
Quick question. Sorry. Is this the first time, Jenny, that you've gotten, I know it may not have been officially approved yet, but gotten funding from the City of Gresham, or have they helped out before?
We have partnered with them to partially fund a program through Southeast Works, but we have never been directly funded by City of Gresham. So this is a first, and it's a very big deal for us.
That's great. Thank you.
All right, now we will hear from our youth commissioners, Violeta Alvarez, LaShawn McCarthy, and Alexis Moyer. And while they're coming up, we have the next three numbers. We have number 62. Number 62 can come up to the front if you're ready and be on deck. We have number 18. We have number 18 in the room. And number 49. 49? No 49. Yeah. Then we'll have number 72. 72. All right, 15. Yeah. Number 15. Are you 72? No, okay.
I think we have number 15, is that right? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Ready? Okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself and speak to council. Thanks.
Good evening, Mayor Hales and City Commissioners. Thank you for having us here. My name is Violeta Alvarez. I'm a senior at Cat and Gable, and I'm here as chair representing the Multnomah Youth Commission. Behind me, we have Opal that came to support Youth Pass. I'm here to advocate for your support for the right budget for ONI, which is a $200,000 ask. $10,000 which would go to NYC to support our work, including strategic planning retreats, meeting costs, and all the resources we need as youth to do this work. I have been a member of the commission for 4 years, and it has impacted my life in various ways. Joining the NYC gave me the opportunity to join a diverse group of youth who made me feel valued. We built essential relationships and learned to care for each other. I felt a sense of belonging and made long-lasting friendships, which are experiences that promote positive youth development. We especially emphasize youth-adult partnerships, which we believe is significant for youth development. When I came into the commission, I was a quiet member. Even though I was a co-chair of a committee, I still wasn't a very vocal member. But because of the adults that mentor us and have high expectations of us so that we can grow, I have now become a strong leader that has learned to take risks. It has given me essential life skills, such as public speaking, decision-making, working effectively with diverse groups, being inclusive, as well as other leadership skills. The commission gives the opportunity for youth from different backgrounds, many of us from traditionally underrepresented communities, to have a voice in local government, as well as acquire skills that are necessary for our development. Over the past years, the commission has made a huge impact in our community. We have brought together hundreds of youth to talk about violence they experience and what we as a community can do to reduce this violence. I want to thank Mayor Hales for making it possible to continue these conversations of preventing violence by supporting our mini summit grants. We have also advocated for Youth Pass and continue to do so because we believe this is an essential resource for youth that provides them with access to school, work, and other activities that help us thrive. Thank you.
So good evening. My name is LaShawn. My name is. Okay,
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah. We'll start your time over again.
All right, thank you. Good evening. My name is LaShawn McCarthy, and I'm a third year member of the Multnomah Youth Commission. I live in St. John's, North Portland, and I go to school at Milwaukee High School. Thank you for your continued support towards the Youth Commission. This program has changed my life. This program has opened my eyes to the potential career opportunities I have when I become an adult. I'm also thankful for the funding of the Multnomah Youth Commission because I'm provided monthly transit pass because I do not receive a youth pass in my school district. Having unlimited access to transit allows me to travel half an hour each way to school, travel to commission meetings, and allows me to explore Portland like I've never been able to do so before. All the youth in my neighborhood rely on Youth Pass to be able to get to all the places they need to go. I'm currently in the Sustainability Committee, and we are focused towards transit justice. The majority of our work is working towards maintaining and expanding Youth Pass. We have 2 summits on transit justice and conducted 11 focus groups over the past 2 years. Within all of this contact with young people, we have collected data and listened to youth stories on how Youth Pass has benefited their lives, or could benefit their lives. All young people express the need for access to opportunities. Youth Pass provides youth access to school, recreation, doctor's appointments, family, and just getting out to explore the city. When young people don't have access to these opportunities, they can potentially resort to unhealthy choices. In my neighborhood, I often feel unsafe and hear gunshots from Pier Park, where I live across the street from. The Youth Commission's Youth Against Violence recommendations state under gang violence that the Youth Pass program should be expanded to all youth in Multnomah County so they can access jobs, after-school activities, and school. I have learned that Youth Pass is not guaranteed to be in next year's budget. I'm here to ask that you all take action to ensure Youth Pass is a priority so that young people like myself and the youth in my neighborhood can be successful and have access to opportunities. Thank you for listening.
Can we make sure that the microphones
Hello.
are...
Oh, there. Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be here and to listen to us. My name is Alexis Moyer. I'm a sophomore at Cleveland High School, and I'm a first-year member of the Multnomah Youth Commission. I'm here today to advocate for the right budget for ONI and Youth Pass for Portland Public Schools students. First, thank you for the support that you have shown the Multnomah Youth Commission and our work. The right budget for ONI is a $200,000 ask, and $10,000 would be given to the Multnomah Youth Commission. The fund would bring our budget back up to a level that matches the county's contribution and covers program funding towards tons of meetings, 2 planning retreats, and the other resources needed to support us in our work. I also want to talk about Youth Pass. I receive Youth Pass from my school. Youth Pass is funded by Portland Public Schools, TriMet, in the city. Youth Pass is important to me because it's how I get around every single day. I live in outer southeast Portland, and before high school, I always lived within walking distance of my schools. In middle school, my world was small, and I didn't feel the need to have Youth Pass. But now that I'm in high school, I have to take 2 buses every morning to get to school and multiple buses to get me to places where I need to go. I use Youth Pass to get to my Multnomah Youth Commission meetings, to attend my Odyssey Youth Council meetings, to hang out with friends, to go to the mall, and to visit my aunt. If I didn't have Youth Pass, all of these opportunities would be taken away from me. Through these extracurricular activities, I've gained immense leadership skills, have made lifelong friends, have participated and led social justice campaigns to help youth, and I've opened doors I never thought would ever be possible. Last week, I found out that the city budget office recommends for the city not to fund Youth Pass in the year to come. Many problems will arise if Youth Pass is not funded. The most affected population of youth will be youth of color, LGBTQ youth, and low-income youth, all of which I personally identify as. I am certainly not the only youth that will be affected by not having Youth Pass. My best friends, my not-so-best friends, my neighbors, enemies, and even my family would all face huge barriers in attempting to pay for TriMet's monthly pass for a full school year. I urge you to please take action in making sure that Youth Pass will still and always be funded for PPS schools so that we don't have to ration our money to access opportunities that all youth across Multnomah County and the city of Portland deserve. Thank you for taking your time to be here and listen to my testimony.
Show of hands out there. I see lots of hands, all sorts of places in that audience. Thank you. And thanks to those from Opal for being there in support as well.
All right, we're going to ask our next 3 on-deck speakers to come up. And then on deck, we're going to have 3 representatives, excuse me, from the African Youth and Community Organization that are Somali Portlanders. And that is going to be Jamal Dar, Hodan Jama, Askina Abubakar.
Hi, good evening. My name is Virginia Luca, and I'm a representative. I'm a volunteer member at APANO, the Asian Pacific American Network of Oregon. We are a statewide grassroots advocacy organization uniting Asians and Pacific Islanders to achieve social justice. Over the last 2 years, APANO has been leading the JADE District Neighborhood Prosperity Initiative around Southeast 82nd Avenue, with the mission of growing and sustaining a diverse, thriving neighborhood without displacement. Our community outreach has engaged over 250 diverse residents and generated popular neighborhood projects such as School Community Garden and the International Night Market. Despite our progress locally, Asian Pacific Islanders continue to face significant disparities documented in the Coalition of Communities of Color Unsettling Profile Report. A key recommendation is to ensure full inclusion of our communities in decision-making and investment in culturally specific strategies. We applaud how the city has invested in culturally specific leadership through the Diversity and Civic Leadership Program. We support the full funding proposal currently put forth by the ONI Bureau Advisory Committee. However, there isn't a culturally specific Asian Pacific Islander program. While the current immigrant and refugee DCL programs are important, they actually serve less than 50% of the Asian Pacific Islander communities. APIs are the second largest ethnic minority in Portland, and we're growing. We experience disproportionate poverty, health concerns, educational inequities, and a lack of representation. Because of these disparities and the many city decisions that impact livability along the 82nd Avenue, it is vital to develop leadership among the communities most affected. We have a long history here in Portland, but we continue to be unrepresented in civic leadership. We advocate for the full funding proposal for DCL, as well as funding to support an Asian Pacific Island specific DCL program that is put forth out on the public RFP in fiscal year 2016. Gobernador Mastulang, thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Thanks for the opportunity today. My name's Andrea Miller. I'm the Executive Director of CAUSA, an organization that has advocated for immigrant families in Oregon for the past 20 years. And I'm here hoping that you'll consider a budget request by CAUSA made on behalf of the Portland Ready Partnership. The Portland Ready Partnership is a group of diverse stakeholders to prepare Portland residents with the information, access to services, and assistance needed to apply for administrative relief or other immigration statuses they might be eligible for. And I hope you'll have a chance to hear from a few of them tonight. Recent national administrative changes could make it possible for 13,000 immigrants in Multnomah County and 25,000 immigrants in the Portland metro area to be eligible for relief from deportation, a work permit, and in Oregon, a driver license. This really is a once-in-a-decade opportunity for immigrant families to adjust their status so that they don't have to live in fear of separation from their loved ones anymore, and get a better job and lead a more stable life in Portland, a city that they consider home. And indeed, recent surveys show that this program has had better economic outcomes for those who have received DACA in 2012. There was a survey showing that 70% of respondents began their first job or moved to a better job upon receiving deferred action. And 46% say that DACA has allowed them to be more financially independent. So it really does have an economic benefit for these families. And we can expect similar results for the parents of U.S. citizens and legal permanent resident children who will be eligible for this expansion. There's all sorts of things I could say, but I do want to let you know that in recognition of this work that's taking place, other local governments have indeed played a role of support. For example, the city of San Francisco has funded administrative relief work happening in their city at $500,000, and the county of Santa Clara at $1.8 million. So there is a precedent for cities playing a role in this. I want to thank you again for the support you've already provided through amicus brief and through your support of Francisco Aguirre, and this is another concrete step that you can take to support immigrant families.
And I want to give...
Andrea, that is, you mentioned Santa Clara County. Are you also making a request for Multnomah County to support this program as well?
That's a great question. We've been in conversation with Multnomah County, and we're exploring ways to get support from them, but we're simply in conversation at this point, but that is one of our goals. Okay, thank you.
And I just want people to get a chance to see there are several supporters here, and we asked you to sit down, but hold your signs up now, those of you who had signs and wanted to be seen. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeremy O'Leary. I'm one of the co-chairs for the East Portland Action Plan, and of course, please fund the East Portland Action Plan. It's also my, I was reading over the draft climate action plan, and I see things like the neighborhood emergency teams are called out in there. And the funding for the net is not sufficient. And quite simply, the net does not exist in most, the neighborhood emergency teams are not functionally existing in most of the neighborhoods. I would also call out that as much as we build neighborhood organizations, whether it be Rosewood or any of the neighbor groups that have chimed in here, it's been clear time after time at disasters, it's friends and neighbors who are what amounts to first responders. And so I would definitely call that out. So as much as we build up efforts like Rosewood and such, that's going to be how the communities are able to rally and get back on their feet after the disaster. In fact, I would encourage, yes, of course, have the disaster preparedness, yes, to have that box of stuff, but I would encourage everyone to focus on the recovery phase after the disaster, because that's really the tough part. And given we're going to have when we face a big earthquake, we'll have the opportunity to rebuild a good chunk of our infrastructure. I would suggest having a plan for what a more sustainable, equitable Portland would look like at that point. Because if we're going to build a sustainable city, we wouldn't build what we have now. So having some idea what that would look like. And let's see, I'm trying to think what my friends would commenting on as well. Also, no, this isn't in your budget purview, but things like having bus stops that actually have a shelter to get out of the rain and the east winds as it's coming by. That is, I mean, it's basically a very small placemaking effort, but that it would definitely be of help. Just in terms of making it more friendly and livable when we actually have those long bus wait times. Actually being able to get out of the rain is a big deal. So, thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to invite up our scheduled invited testimony from members of the Somali community in Portland. And on deck, we are going to have number 17. 17?
Okay, yep.
Come take a seat up front. And number 44. And number 58. Do we have number 58? Okay, how about number 74?
Did we have number 58? Yes. So both of you will get a chance to speak. Why don't we go ahead with Casey first, and you can work it out from there, Teresa. Thank you. So they'll work out kind of which three will go next, but I'd like to invite you to go ahead and introduce yourself and begin. Thank you.
Hi. Hello. You guys hear me? Okay. First, I would like to thank all of you guys for coming here and letting us come here today to voice our concerns. I would really like to thank you. My name is Hoden, and I am a volunteer at ICO World Organization. I just want to briefly talk about the big issue that we have about housing. And this is one of the most common issues that a majority of our clients face within ICO. Most of our clients have newly immigrated to the U.S., and due to the lack of affordable or low-income housing, they are placed in housing that is way out of their budget range and running from anywhere from $1,100 to $1,700 a month. And sorry, I'm so nervous. Oh my goodness. And then the monies that they receive does not cover the monthly rent, and it doesn't, and they are unable to support their family. So that also creates an issue. So at ICO, what we do is we help everybody with housing, employment. We really help women with disabilities and families with disabilities and advocate for them and to help them become members, stable members of society, and for them to being relocated to a new country. It's very hard for them to adjust to a new land. And so what we do is we work with them day to day and take it one step at a time and help them firstly find affordable housing so they can build their life with their family and move forward. And from that, there could be, it is really the first step, and there could be many endless possibilities and for them to grow from that. So I would like to request for you guys to hopefully to include us in your funding, so we can continue to do what we are doing and hopefully grow. Thank you again thank you.
Hello, thank you.
Sorry, wait till
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, it was off.
Got it.
It was off. Thank you, Mayor Charlie, and commissioners as well, and everybody who is here. I'm here to talk a little bit about housing and youth. I think she talked about housing, and we have a problem about housing. There's no doubt, but I only have 2 minutes, so I have to rush. First of all, my name is Askina Sharif, and I'm from African Youth and Community Organization as ACO. We're all volunteers. We don't have budget. What we do is, mainly I focus on youth with their families, whether it comes for mentorship, schooling, sports, and we don't have the fund to run these programs. And I have almost over 400 youth who are mainly low-income families, and they came here with a large family population, mainly single mothers. And what we do is basically what I do is try to work with the Portland Parks and Recreation to find them a place like a gymnasium to play basketball tournaments, or whether it's soccer tournaments. And that is successful. But if we don't have the funding, we are very tight budget. We don't have the budget to run those kind of programs. What is happening is they involve in gangs and other problems, including recruiting and all that stuff. And this is not the first time I spoke in front of the mayor, and I think I mentioned this to the mayor about my main concern is about the recruitment from whether it's ISIS or Al-Shabaab. That's my main concern. If we don't have the budget to kind of maintain those activities for them and keep them at the school and sports, we are going to be very behind, and we're not going to be able to control them. And to be honest with you, I wanted to talk about the housing, but since she tackled everything, so I think the youth is my main concern right now. So thank you, guys. And
Excuse me, sorry. Before we begin, I've just been learning a little bit about microphone use, and I wanted to make sure folks know that all the testimony I hear is really getting recorded well on video, so there will be a really good archive. If there was anything you couldn't quite hear, it is being recorded, and commissioners, if you need to hear it again. But for all of you who speak, try to speak up just a little bit, and if you can be about 4 to 6 inches from the microphone, that's the ideal distance. And if you're having trouble, I may zoom over and hand you my microphone, which is apparently a little bit easier. So thank you all. Thanks to all of you here, and for you also bearing with us in that.
Commissioners, I appreciate your valuable time here tonight. My name is Jamal Dar. I am the founder and executive director for African Youth and Community Organization. As many of my colleagues here, I come from refugee camp with relatives. Arrived in 1996, Portland, California, graduated my high school there, and then took the Greyhound with my toothbrush in my back pocket. And I never looked back, arriving in beautiful Portland Green. As soon as I landed in Portland, I tried to educate myself, continue my education, enrolled Portland Community College. And right there was an employee from Nike, and I asked him was a discount, and he said 50% off. Sign me up, that was what I said. From that point, 18 years, I'm working for Nike, Inc. Again, I went to help myself to graduate, have my MBA. But then 5 years ago, I looked back, and I noticed my community is struggling. They face the same challenges that I did face. And then I tried to implement this organization so I can help develop a strategy structure so they can be a symbol like anybody else. From that point, we established ICO with volunteers. For 5 years, this organization has 0 FTE, 0 employees. We have so many programs, as my colleagues mentioned it. But my biggest problem is that how do we run with family need, housing, healthcare, community education, especially women who are disabled, have a number of families that range from 6 to 12. 90% of these families are single mom. I have the data to prove. We have served more than 9,000 community members, specifically the Somali, who don't have a home. There is no community center that helps the Somali community. So my asking tonight is to please help us to be proud of the city, especially the mayor, to $250,000 that covers 2 years of this organization with 2 program managers and 2 coordinators, so we can tackle the problem together and continue what we did. We have the target, we have achieved it, and we can show that. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, and I see lots of hands waving. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. We're going to invite our next three speakers up, and we tracked down some of our previously called numbers, so we have two more on deck, and we're going to call one more to come on up, please. Do we have number 16? Number 16, if you're here, please come on up. And if we, please do not turn the mics off if you're up here giving testimony. That'll help us going forward. Thank you.
All right. Hi, my name is Francisco Bueno. I'm the head of programs for College Possible Portland. I'm joined in the audience by College Possible team members, students, and school partners. Thank you first for the opportunity to speak with you about College Possible tonight. I know you've heard from Ken Thrasher and Ashley Ehlers, one of our coaches, a few weeks ago. So College Possible helps promising low-income students become college graduates. And we have a really, really strong record of doing it well. Students working with our dedicated AmeriCorps coaches are 10 times more likely to graduate from college than their low-income peers, earning us some of the best results in the country. We're currently serving 300 students in our core high school program at David Douglas High School, Park Rose, Reynolds, and Gresham High School. And as you know, we're asking for a $500,000 investment to expand our program to more schools in Portland and serve over 1,000 students from this area. Our program has a singular focus on increasing college graduation rates for low-income students. And we do this by recruiting students in their sophomore year, working intensely through junior and senior year with them to prepare them for the ACT, to complete strong college applications to good fit colleges, to participate in relevant summer programs, and to access funding by applying and completing scholarship and financial aid applications. We continue to support students after high school by providing coaching as they transition to college and then through college graduation with our campus-based and technology-based coaching models. With your support, we'll ensure that the future of more of our city's children is determined by their talent, motivation, and effort, and not their income. Thank you.
Thank you for remembering the hands. Great, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Christine Yoon. I am excited and grateful that this city is able to maintain a stabilization budget this year. And I want to give a big thank you for including Buckman Pool operations and maintenance as part of the ongoing budget. The neighborhoods surrounding Buckman Pool continue to explode with multifamily developments. I see new faces at the pool every week. I think it's crucial to maintain Buckman Pool at the bullseye of all this new density until a new full-service community center can be built to fill the recreation gap in this part of Portland. And I'd like to point out to members of the Somali community that this is the only pool in Parks and Recreation system that offers gender-separated swim times on the weekends. And they also offer scholarships, so please check it out. Thank you.
Hands in the front there, thanks. Yeah, several hands.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Casey Chama. I am the Executive Director of the Center for Intercultural Organizing. And first of all, I want to thank and really appreciate Jamal Dar, who testified earlier. He's just doing such a terrific job as a community leader, and I'm really grateful that he is working with the Somali community. So I am here today to ask you for support for the Portland Ready project, which my colleague Andrea Miller earlier testified and asking for your support. Center for Intercultural Organizing is a proud partner of part of the organizations who are trying to be ready to support families who are ready to get services through deferred action for immigration reform. As you know, President Obama made this executive decision, and I think many years as a community member, we struggle to provide services for this community. Even myself, my agency, we struggle providing services because, as you know, most of these community members might not qualify some of the services because of their immigration status. we have a chance. This is a 30-year lifetime chance as a city of Portland that we are able to provide services. And these folks are not asking handouts. They have been paying taxes for years and years for city without getting any benefit back. So today, as a city, as a community members who care each other and support each other, which I am really grateful to be part of this amazing city, we have a chance, a lifetime chance that we can provide services they need this community. What we are asking today is to provide $500,000 in support of this project, and those services will be going through educating community members about their rights and responsibility, providing legal immigration services, and also just providing multilingual education services and flyers and information, and also supporting for their legal process. So this is really a program that we're hoping will change many lives, and I ask you for your support. Thank you very much.
Hands are going up across the room there.
Thank you. We're going to ask our next three speakers to come up, and on deck we will have three members of Portland's Chinese community from the, Asian Pacific American Chamber of Commerce, Evelyn Liu, Ping Ka, and Kenny Chen.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Bob Ball, and I'm president of the Friends of the Mounted Patrol. As you know, when the budget times were lean, our organization helped organize a community around raising $400,000. During that process, we learned something really important, that the support for the Mounted Patrol was actually not narrow, it was very wide. We organized hundreds and hundreds of donations and volunteers to support our efforts to keep the horses through the downtime period. I'm here to support the program as it's currently in the proposed budget from the Police Bureau. And I wanted to add a couple thoughts. One was the RAND Corporation just did a study. There's something that I always sort of felt in my nearly 20 years now of volunteering for the Portland Police Bureau. I actually saw that they worked in a way that was hard to put into words. And the study that was done was that mounted patrols actually increase the trust between communities and the police bureaus or their police departments. It was really interesting because they found that the interaction between citizens and the police were 6 times greater than when they saw an officer not on a horse. It amazed me. And they found that those patrols were very effective in achieving those goals. You know, I think we all know that there's been nationally a lot of distrust and mistrust between community members and the police around our entire country. And I'd like to offer that in a time where our budget is now better, that we really think about the fact that I believe it would be unwise to think about stopping a program that is truly, I believe, one, if not the best way that we can build community trust with our police department, a program that's actually done that. Thank you.
Bob, can I ask you a question? You and the Friends do a wonderful job every year highlighting this particular budget ask. Am I correct? There's no current proposal to cut the Mounted Patrol, is there?
No, we're just here to support the fact that the program's been included in the Police Bureau's budget. And we also want you to know that we're going to be here as we have to figure out a new home for them or whatever happens at Centino Mills, that we're going to be here as partners with you.
Yeah, okay, that's helpful.
The program, as I think most people remember, the program was reduced during our cut budget, but the Bureau has proposed continuing it at the reduced level. They haven't proposed adding back to where we were before, but they have proposed in their Bureau proposed budget continuing it at the current level. Thank you.
Got my 4-inch mark over here. Thank you. Can you hear me all right? Great.
Mayor Hales, Commissioners, my name is Christina Narayan. I am an undergraduate student attending Portland State University. I am a proud product of Portland Metro Public Schools and a resident of North Portland. I am here today in representation of the Asian Pacific American Network of Oregon, for whom I work. We applaud your efforts to prioritize equity and opportunity within your budget. As you heard earlier, we are in support of the full funding proposal for current DCL programs, and we advocate for an Asian Pacific Islander specific DCL program and a public RFP for a community partner. As you heard, APIs are among the fastest growing population in Oregon, and Pacific Islanders actually lead the rank. However, not all Pacific Islanders are of immigrant status, and this residency barrier excludes many from public benefit services as well as DCL programming. For example, one of the growing PI identities are those who hail from COFA states, so Compact of Free Association states. Those include Islanders from the Marshall Islands, the Republic of Palau, and the Federated States of Micronesia. They are here legally, they participate in our communities, and they're here from a military compact stemming from the 60s. This population is disproportionately affected by radiogenic diseases and chronic diseases, which have been linked to nuclear testing at the hands of the United States. Among the PI population that is of non-immigrant status, American Samoans also fall into that rank. The recent report by the Multnomah County Health Department highlighted the disparities that PIs face, which include lack of first trimester prenatal care, low birth weights, lack of high school education, and have alarming rates of unemployment that require immediate intervention. So again, we ask you to not only fully fund current DCL programming, but introduce an API-specific program to represent this community. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Craig Rogers. I live in East Portland, and I would like to thank every member of City Council for coming out here this evening. I know it's a long day, but we really appreciate the opportunity to have a conversation with you. So our new governor, Kate Brown, she has made accountability and transparency important to her administration. And I really encourage our current City Council to do the same. It makes it much easier to have a conversation and get to a solution to the many problems that we face. And I am really impressed by all the opportunities for the public to provide public testimony. And again, I want to thank you all for coming out here to East Portland.
Good. Some hands are waving there. Several hands. Great. While people are moving around, I just want to note it's getting to 8 o'clock. If you feel like you're getting weary and need some nourishment, feel free. There's coffee and tea here and some cookies. Teresa, who's next?
Some materials from a previous testimony. Next, we have our invited testimony from members of Portland's Chinese community. And on deck, we will have numbers 79. 79, if you're here, let us know. 79. 79. Yes. All right. How about 22? 22. 22. Going once. Going twice. All right. 52. Do we have 52? And it could be some people changed their minds about testifying. Do we have 52 in the room? Okay. How about number 5? Come on up. And number 85. Please come on up.
Okay, while they're taking their seats, I'll just invite you to go ahead and begin.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Ping Kao, representing the API Chamber and the Chinese community. First of all, I want to thank the City Council for giving us this opportunity to voice our concern. Even though I'm from the Chinese community, but our group is also part of the big new immigrant populations. We live in an ever-changing but somewhat young city. We have a 30-year-old history to prove that the collaboration between the city and the newcomers community is essential. Years of relationship have already been developed from working together at the service delivery level. Now it's time for all of us who came from four corners of the globe to bring a comprehensive city policy that will focus on immigration and refugee integrations. In 2014, the New Portlander Policy Council produced a strategic plan that provided a clear vision for the Commission. It requires our city leadership to focus on policy that will support our rapidly growing communities. It is not an easy task to maintain communication, relation building, and cater to the issue our community face every day. We have asked too much free labor from our immigration community. And it's not right to exploit the expertise and time of our community when the city could afford to hire experienced staff to provide the much needed services. It is critical that we treat the issue of the multicultural community seriously and effectively. A citywide commission on immigrant and refugee policy will establish annual goals and best practices and provide closer alignment of our already deep and wide working relationship. This would definitely help close a growing disparity gap. And Portland, our beautiful city, could easily become a good example of a gateway city at the national level. So thank you for listening, and we hope that you'll consider finding some staff for the new commission. Thank you.
Hi.
See some hands around the room.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Hi, my name is Evelyn Liu. Am I on? And I'm a native Portlander. I also serve on Join's board of directors. And, oh, there was one other thing, but I forgot what that was. But anyway, so, and I've been asked to speak on the housing issues, the shortages for our communities. And East Portland has many of the immigrants that end up living in East Portland. The job, economic opportunities that would allow one in order to live in the apartment complexes or the housing, they're just not there. And so we have to look at how do we create housing, and how do we create housing in apartment units and also in homes in something other than the traditional models that we use. I actually like Rob Justice's program, but then I'm partial since I'm with Join. But at any rate, in addition to the fact that the small businesses that are in East Portland are usually, they're small businesses. They're not big old honkin', $10 million that, oh, sorry, I got 1 minute now, so I gotta speak really fast. So the wages that they pay are not enough for fair market housing. The inclusionary zoning just passed recently. Hopefully it'll pass the Senate, and that will help, but it will not help the rental units, because that's just for affordable, just for the housing. All of the developments that we create, whether it's for family or for apartment units, need to absolutely consider the transportation, the economic, park systems, grocery, adult education, and schools. The last thing I want to speak about is that for the Asian population, we need programs that speak to culturally specific home ownerships. I see it for other communities, but not for the API community. And lastly, to ensure that any facet of urban renewal does not displace the people that are currently living there. Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor, Commissioner, good evening. My name is Kenny, and I'm from PCC Southeast. I heard a lot of story of PCC. Whatever you do, please support PCC in the future. Never change. And by the way, I'm not here for the PCC. I'm here for another issue. I'm here to address the livable neighborhood issue because I'm a resident in Southeast and see everyday living in our community that I have a concern that our family feels safe we need to feel safe in our house and apartment. And with the increase of new immigrant and criminal issues, I would like to see our local police department put the safety as their top priority. And to reach out our community effectively, we will need the law officer to understand our cultural difference and the emphasis of Chinese traditional way of living. Another thing is the safety of our residents, I would like to ask city to install road sign that and instruction for in Chinese, because as you see right now, Southeast become second Chinatown right now. So especially for the elders, they don't probably not understand English that much, and it will be safer for them to, like, if we have any new change, regulation or notice, that it can be transferred to Chinese, and that our community member to feel as easy in our neighborhood. And having street lights, road sign, and arrangement for the public event between the city official and local community will be significantly help our community feel comfortable with their neighborhood, and store and parks close by. This will definitely support good neighborhood communication and help relationship building. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to invite our next speakers to come on up, and we will have 3 more numbers to call. Do we have 12 in the audience? Number 12, if you're here, let us know. 12, come on up, please. 63. 63, come on up, please. And how about 53? Do we have 53? Double check. 53? Yes? Okay.
Adkins, and I'm here in support of the Human Access Project, which I wanted to reiterate has a plan coming your way. So I felt really compelled to come up and talk with people tonight because when I first heard about this project, I was immediately transported to my childhood, and I grew up here. And my father was an engineer who was on one of the first committees to actually start cleaning up the river. And at that point, they got pretty tough with the rules, and actually a couple businesses actually went out of business because they couldn't comply. And so it was really powerful for me to see that happen, and also realize that we were actually scared of the Willamette River. We couldn't get access to it. The roads went right by it, but there was absolutely no way to see the Willamette River. And as the years have gone on, I brought up my own children here and lived in Sellwood and was able to actually, swim down there on those beaches. But now we're at this next phase where the river is actually now very accessible. I'm a filmmaker, and I've been donating my time to them and seeing the river huggers and the various the big float. And I've really been amazed at how possible it is to actually swim and enjoy this river, and I see it now because I live down in the southeast. And so I'm here to just support that initiative, because I think that it's a fantastic thing. That's a full circle that started 40 years ago, and we're now getting very close to having that be a reality. So it's a fantastic thing for me to see.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is that on?
No.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rolando Flores, and I'm here in support of College Possible. I'm one of the assistant principals at David Douglas High School. One of my responsibilities there is to liaison between David Douglas and outside agencies. College Possible is one of those organizations. My goal this evening is to highlight what a professional working partner College Possible is, and to brag about how effective College Possible is proving to be. David Douglas is the largest high school in the state and is extremely diverse. This makes for a school that everyone wants to partner with. Talk about target populations. With over 13 partners under the Sun umbrella, I can personally attest to how organized, punctual, and on point all requests, paperwork, functions, and events are. True professionals. More importantly, College Possible is effective. Kids love it, and please listen to these numbers. Currently at David Douglas, their caseload is 116 students. 100% of all 116 students have continuous case managing going on. Of the 54 seniors, 89% filled out a financial aid form. Of the 62 seniors, 100% of them took the ACTs this spring. Of the 54 seniors at Douglas, 100% have applied to at least one college. Want to invest in kids, want to invest in tomorrow's leaders, strongly consider College Possible. Thank you.
See some hands and some shirts. Thank you.
Good evening, City Council. Thank you so much for being here tonight and hearing everyone who has to speak. My name is Sarah Long, and I am here to advocate for a project in the city of Portland that will impact the entire city and all the people. It is for housing, and we've had many compelling testimonies here tonight expressing the need, the deep need for more affordable housing. And there are plans for how to increase the types of units that allow more households in a greater range of incomes to find housing in single-family neighborhoods. This includes allowing flexibility that encourages innovative housing types and development. And having grown up in a family who did construction, I know that when you're sitting down to budget a project, there's many, many concerns, but will everyone be able to afford it is not one of them. And so that needs to come from on high. That needs to come from the code that covers the whole city, and so that we can keep the new developments more affordable for a much wider range of Portlanders. This will impact everyone, everyone in this room. It's very, very important. It calls for $332,000 for an 18-month project. And I wanted to speak on behalf of that, and I thank you very much.
Some hands up here up front. All right, we'll ask our next three speakers to come up, and on deck we will have three invited speakers from the Iraqi Society of Oregon, and that is Masara Awaz, Ahmed Al-Zubaydi, and Dr. Bahar Bouti.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Victoria Lara, and I'm the CEO and founder of Lara Media Services. And I'm here to support the City of Portland for the fair action. On my business, I have DACA students that work for me, and they're already graduated. And that doesn't make any sense for the city to invest in the education for all these youth and then forget about it when they turn 18. As we were hearing, there is 13,000 people that will benefit, and there are studies, and we can prove that City of Portland will be better off economically when eligible population receive the fair action. It's like supporting this will be like a loan, and you will gain a high interest because these people will have better salaries, better jobs, and they will pay more taxes. Just for my business, we pay in 2004 over $300,000 in salaries and wages, and equally we donate that amount to different organizations through United States. We need your help because, of course, these families don't have the funds to get the fair action. And I really believe as a business owner that I have a successful story, but my business is made because of these students. And this is the economic boost that Portland is waiting, and we know we're gonna have a lack of jobs in high-tech manufacture, health, and construction, and the deferred action can supply some of these jobs that the city needs to. Thank you.
Great, and I see lots of signs and many hands, so go ahead and hold them up for Portland Ready and hands. Thank you.
Hi, I'm David Hampston from East Portland, and I want to thank you very much for funding the East Portland Action Plan for $300,000. I also want to thank City Council for moving forward with using your one-time funding on 122nd, the improvements on the crossings on 122nd and the potholes near the I-84 interchange. I also would encourage you to extend the youth passes to the East Portland Public Schools. I realize they're yellow bus program schools, but however, the yellow buses don't run during the summer, and that's when a lot of high schoolers need to get to jobs during the period. Transit out here is pretty lousy, as you know, and so I would continue to encourage the city of Portland to support improvements in public transit in East Portland. TriMet's right now doing a study, nearly complete, and also working on the BRT project on Outer Division. And then finally, I would encourage you to look at the ONI budgets and add ongoing money, not only for the East Portland Action Plan, which right now is one time, has been for 7 years, but also to up the money that goes to the East Portland Neighborhood Office. The East Portland Neighborhood Office has to do pretty much everything that Southeast Uplift does on supporting neighborhoods and other groups within the coalition area. It's not something that EPAP actually does. And so right now, EPNO, the East Portland Neighborhood Office, has a budget about the same as, say, Central Northeast Neighbors. It's about $170,000 short of what Southeast Uplift gets, even though East Portland has more people, far more diversity. And so I would encourage you to up their ongoing budget by about $170,000, so they're at least at the same level as Southeast Uplift, and to reevaluate the budgets of all the district coalitions in Portland. Thank you very much.
See hands there in the back in several places across the room. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Yip. I am a student at Portland Community College. I am currently majoring in international business and just applied for 4 universities in Hong Kong. I'm here today to express my support for the Future Connects program. These last 3 years I've been in college have not been easy, and actually they have been the most difficult 3 years of my entire life. There have been so many times where I question, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to get out of bed in the mornings? Why do I have to go to work? Why do I have to go to class? Why do I need to save all this money? Because I'm just so exhausted. And then I think of everyone at Future Connect and Gateway to College, programs that unconditionally give all they possibly can to see their students succeed. Whether it be taking time out of their busy schedules to meet with students or providing such generous scholarships for their students. And speaking of the generous scholarships, the scholarship I received has helped me in so many ways. I mentioned that I was taking 16 credits and that I applied for 4 universities in Hong Kong. Well, all of the tuition and all of the application fees I am paying for out of my own pocket. There have been times where I worried about how I was going to pay for rent, transportation, and at times even meals. So when I found out that I was a recipient of the Future Connect scholarship, I was overjoyed, as you can imagine. I felt like the luckiest person. All of the worry and frustration just started to go away. All of the experiences with Future Connect have taught me to be thoughtful and to give. The people at Future Connect care so much about their students and will do anything that they can to see their students succeed, and it becomes more and more apparent after every experience with them. On behalf of all of the hundreds of students with the Future Connect program, I just want to thank you and thank the City of Portland for all of your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See hands waving across the room, and thanks to those of you who are standing in support.
And next we have our final invited testimony of the night from our Iraqi Portlander representatives.
And Teresa, are you wondering whether we'll
I'm wondering
be
if we
drawing
have time to
another-
draw another name or two, maybe one.
This will be 6 minutes. Commissioners, will you want to be able to speak towards the end, or? Okay, not much. Let's draw two. See if we can manage it.
How about quickly number 13?
Pull us to the very end.
Do we have number 13 in the room? Number 13? Okay, and number 41. Number 41? Do we have number 41 in the room? Wave if you're number 41, or we're going to pick someone else. Okay, 51.
51, are you here?
Do we have 51 in the room?
The next one she calls will be the last one, so if this one is here, we'll go, and if
number
not, we're gonna go
25. Do we have number
25?
25?
Are you
All
here?
right,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, and we'll invite you to go ahead and begin speaking. Thank you.
Dear Mayor and Commissioners, my name is Masara Iwaz, and I work as a clinical case manager at Lutheran Community Services. and I also lead adjustment groups for Iraqi refugees, Iraqi women refugees. I'm also a member of the board of directors of the Iraqi Society of Oregon, and that's what I'm representing today. So Iraqi women and youth empowerment, the Iraqi refugee community started coming to America in the last 8 years. The Iraqi refugee community hasn't been included or targeted by the city office-wide. Our community wants to change that because we want to be successful and productive citizens. Our community has been displaced from our natural environment. Mesopotamia is the land of 2 rivers. And we want to connect to our new home and in our new 2 rivers, Willamette and Columbia rivers. Women and youth empowerment, economic and adjustment services. Our women and youth need economic empowerment. We see that culturally appropriate empowerment can be provided through supporting small home-based businesses. Many of our women have university degrees and expertise in various fields, and the city can provide them with access to job and professional fields like engineering, IT, community centers, or education extra. Our organization would like to thank the Community Outreach Coordinator in the Community Watershed Stewardship Program in the city of Portland. We applied for a grant for youth for youth leadership and natural scape education. The youth participants in this project will be the seed in the community to learn about the love and nature and environment, and to be more engaged in public decision making regarding environmental issues. The last point, we asked the Park and Recreation Bureau to provide job opportunities for Iraqi youth. Thank you so much.
Mayor, can I just acknowledge that we're very grateful at the utilities that we have someone who came forward tonight supporting the Community Watershed Grant Program.
Yes.
Because while it's not a lot of money, it generates an unusually outsized amount of controversy in some circles. So to have you come and testify about the tangible benefit in your community is very powerful.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank for this opportunity. My name Ahmed Zubaydi. I'm from Iraqi Society Organization. Our community, like other communities, need economic empowerment. This means jobs, businesses, and investment opportunities. These are extremely important piece of individuals' lives that move them independence, and also give back to our local and national economy in the long run. They help our community member to build their foundation beyond just the dollar bill. There are qualified doctors, engineering, English teachers, technicians, and other experience among the Iraqi refugee in Portland. They are looking for job opportunities. City can provide access to professional jobs, support for small businesses. The city can provide resource to help small business owners to grow. And this would contribute to the city economical system and provide more jobs opportunity. The city can, example, waive utilities fees in the food cart parking lot and provide more space and easier access to or for new beginners. Also, there is significant potential for attracting international investment. This can work both ways to providing through our community access to Iraqi stock market and investment in Iraq, like the green industry in the marshes, and important project that we can propose in the twin city with all the historical city for Abraham. This can provide a great potential for spiritual and religious tourism as well. Last year, we proposed this, and we like to repeat it this year. New York City is offering as 10 years tax exemption to anyone who invests in New York. Why not Portland does the same things? Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Commissioners, and thank you to City staff for allowing this opportunity. My name is Bahar Butti. I'm the Secretary General of the Iraqi Society of Oregon, and I'm also a member of the New Portland Policy Council, one of the city structures, as you know, and I'm also a member of the Public Involvement Advisory Committee. And by the way, that's why I support the budget for ONI. I'm a graduate of the Pan Immigrant Leadership Training Program of CIO in 2008. However, we are still looking forward to see a Refugees and Immigrants Commission in the city of Portland. This structure can provide more inclusive role in public policy decision-making and civic engagement of our communities. This structure would be also parallel to founding a multicultural center, which is another dream that I have lived with and witnessed since coming to the United States in 2007. These two structures can first offer tools to resettle refugees, like provide information, resources, and training, to provide healthy psychosocial adjustment that is needed for building good citizens. Secondly, provide this combination of structures can provide space and ground for meeting other constituents to start building the basis of integration through intercultural exchange. And PAYAC also already endorsed this concept of intercultural organizing. Thirdly, and most important, it can provide the basis and a kind of a think tank for building the concept of the intercultural identity. So there is the melting pot, and there is the solid bowl, which also present kind of a hierarchical kind of diversity, but I'm talking about a blending vessel. It's an all-inclusion model. America is moving to be an intercultural civilization, and we need to start working on that. So we need to promote inclusiveness, and that means that the newcomers receive the support and embrace of our neighbors, and in return, the newcomers should contribute with our own expertise, actually values, investments, and productivity. And I may say even that we can contribute with our own historical background. Imagine to be a genuine Portlander who can say, my ancestors created the alphabet 4,000 years ago. Last but not least, our grassroots organization needs also seeding funding from the city to promote civic engagement. So far we have been kind, especially the small, very small communities. We have been kind of the small corners in the end of the corridor. We will come see you guys, but we like to actually be funded too, so we can also contribute to the community and be included rather than just wait to be. We can include ourselves rather than just wait to be included. So I think this can end my talk, but I have a small thing to give to the city of Portland. It's a piece of art that was created by an American photographer that tells the stories of the Iraqi refugees. I'd like to give it to the city, if I can.
Thank you. And I see some hands waving, and I want to acknowledge that I made a mistake when I said we would have time for 2 more speakers. We are at 8:30, so I want to find out from Council, are we ready to move to closing to honor people getting the chance to close on time, or do we want to invite up the last 2 speakers? Great. Yeah, just 2 more on deck. Okay, great. Thank you very much. And for all of you, if you're willing to stay, it would be great if you could stay to hear from 2 more speakers. If you need to go, we understand. Just kind of get up quietly and move towards the exit. So go ahead and take a seat. Thank you.
I'll go first. Go for it. Okay. I'm Susan West, Chair of River Place Security Committee. We have about 1,000 residents down there and 3 major hotels, which have about 500,000 people just in a 2-block area there. And of course, we're the heart of the city and attract way more people. It's the Portland's heart. And we're the result of a visionary city council We're very happy that you've made the River Place what it is. Everyone loves River Place, but we are under siege, and we're asking for your protection. And so basically what we're asking for, I think Amanda has 7 more rangers for all the parks in her budget. We would like that. We would also like the renewal of the River Patrol contract. If you can't do it all, which is around 90,000, just even take it from 15 to 20 hours down to 10 hours, because it has been so dangerous down there. You know, there's human excrement floating around. Some people are going to get hepatitis in the boats, and we really need protection and enforcement of parks and cities. To cut to the chase, we're very happy to help you. We're put out our hand, and we just finished a Parks Department major cleanup, and the citizens down here, all of us as volunteers, are cleaning up city and parks up to NATO, over to Sheridan and Clay continually. We're doing our share to have a partnership with you. We also appreciate the ONI crime prevention. We're starting a security walk. We're doing everything we can to show you that we're good citizens, and we would like you to fund the River Patrol, more rangers, the Portland Police, the downtown walking police, those areas, back to the basics to help us. And we think from there, all of the tourists and people that come will fill the coffers, make Portland great, so you can have more money to do more programs. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, all bat cleanup this evening. My name is Graham Trainer, and I'm here representing the Oregon AFL-CIO, which is the statewide Federation of Labor Unions, representing over 300,000 working Oregonians, and about half of those in the city of Portland. I'm here to testify in support of the Portland Ready partnership that Andrea Miller from CAUSA spoke very well in regards to. As a worker advocate, we see firsthand the changes in Oregon and in Portland's workforce. We also see the very personal impact that immigration status plays in the homes and everyday lives of workers in our communities. Our members and workers in Portland face these issues in a number of ways, including being a part of mixed status families where they or someone else in their family are here in Oregon without documentation, while others in their family do have documentation. While there's a lot of good work being done by CAUSA, legal service providers, and other community partners, many of which you've heard from this evening, on immigration issues and advocacy, unfortunately, there's just not enough collective capacity in the Portland metropolitan area to keep up with the demand for these services. You've also heard that with 25,000 immigrants in the Portland metro area eligible for relief from deportation, a work permit, or a driver's license, additional resources are very much needed, and the city, from our perspective, is very well positioned to play a key role in these efforts. We've been engaged in this conversation around immigration and advocacy work in a very real way up to this point, and have looked for creative ways to leverage resources to really add capacity to these critical efforts. Just to give you a little example of some of that work, in recent months we've been able to raise $50,000 here in state, and that was that allowed us to have a matching grant from our national organization to really engage in this work in a more meaningful and deep way. You know, again, the ability for a Portlander to apply and be granted deferred action means for some their very first work permit and their very first chance to drive to work without the fear of being deported. We are proud to be a coalition partner of Portland Ready and urge the city to grant this funding request, which you've heard about this evening. Again, these city resources will be key. I'm done, I guess. Wow, I thought I had that wrapped up in 2 minutes. My apologies. Thanks for the time this evening. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great to see some hands waving, and thank you for your testimony. Thank you all for staying. I'm going to turn it over to council for whatever comments you'd like to make to close us out.
No long speech from me, and I suspect not from any of us. Just want to say thank you for participating. We always appreciate these forums because we get to hear from you directly, and as usual, people came really well prepared with very thoughtful testimony, and it's a pleasure to hear Portlanders show up, participate, be clear about what they're looking for. So I just really appreciated the hearing tonight. I don't know if any other comments from council members. Smiles all around. So again, thank you all for coming. We look forward to hearing more from you in the rest of the budget process. Thank you. Good night.